just a huge fan. I think you're so
thank you.
hilarious and so smart. And the last time I saw you was at the Emmys, and I didn't recognize you, and I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, no, it was really funny because I came up to Ellen at the Emmys, and I had, like, my hair was really big, and I had a fancy dress on. I had no glasses and tons of makeup, and I came up to you, and I was like, hey, I just want to say I love your new show. And Ellen was like, thank you. And this look was like, thanks a lot. We're having dinner. And so, like, I was like, beep, 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 like, abort mission. And then you're so nice, because you came, 5 minutes later, you tracked me down, and you're like, I'm so sorry, it was so out of context, and you tracked me down at that Emmys
Well,
party
it was
hi.
one of those things where I sat down and I was trying to eat, I was starving, and I kept turning around and turning around, and I just thought, I just really need to eat, and I turned around, and then I felt something, like a little tap, and I turned around, and I love your new show. I said, thank you so much. I was trying to be polite, but I really needed to turn around, and then that kind of thing went, that was Tina Fey. That was Tina Fey.
You know what happened to me at that Emmys, too, I just remember this, was because they had like a lobster tail dinner, right? And so I ate my lobster tail, and then the rest of my table was empty. So being the like white trash that I am, I scooted down and tucked into another lobster tail. Yeah. And a lady came up to me and was like, may I see your ticket, please?
No.
Because I was eating multiple lobster tails.
Oh, man. You scooted down to another lobster tail. So now you're the first, I don't know how many people know this, you're the first female head writer that SNL's ever had. That is a huge thing.
Well, sure. I mean, I'm co-head writer with this guy named Dennis McNicholas, and it's nice that people say that, but I think it's not actually that big a deal. I mean, I think that place is actually really, really fair because we write sketches every week, and then we go in this big read-through, and we read them all, and you've been there, you've hosted the show, and you know, the things that work don't, and the things that don't work, it's actually like really humiliating to have your sketches read in there.
Yeah, it's hard because then as the host, you're kind of helping pick what makes it, and the writers are waiting to see if their sketch makes it, because they write more. The first rehearsal is like 2 hours, and 2.5 hours sometimes.
And it's humiliating and degrading for everyone.
Yeah.
For all parties.
Well, that's what this business is all about. You know, that's just part of it. Especially as a writer, you're constantly rejected and having to change things.
Yeah.
So, of all the sketches that you've written, what is your favorite?
That's a good question. I have one favorite because I've never had a lot of luck with commercial parodies on the show. They're like a hard form. I've never had that many made, but I did have one commercial parody made last year that called Mom Jeans.
Right.
And it was kind of my favorite because, first of all the girls got to be in it, and it was sort of inspired by, I had purchased an unfortunate pair of jeans. That was sort of like...
You didn't know that when you tried them on?
I was in a hurry, and I bought these jeans, and I wore them, I bought them on my way to the office, and I put them on, and Maya Rudolph and I were just like, man, those aren't working out. And she started singing a little song about mom jeans, and it ended up being this commercial parody.
We have it. If you haven't seen it, it's hysterical. And it's done so well. I mean, it's like done so perfectly and subtly. They're so happy to be in those jeans.
Yeah, we just had a little bit of padding and the short, sassy mom wigs.
Oh, mom jeans. It's hilarious. No, so now you do so many parodies on people and on, you know, and please don't do one on me.
Can't promise that.
Yeah, I know, but be nice. But have you been confronted by people that you've done parodies on?
Well, luckily, I don't personally hang out with any famous people, so I don't like run into movie stars. But I did get a letter once from Barbara Walters. We wrote this parody of The View years ago. My friend Lori Nassau and I used to write these parodies of The View, and we got a letter from Barbara Walters to the writers. It said, like, you know, thank you for your parody of The View. But it was weird because, like, she tracked down who wrote it. You know, she did her research, and it was like this really nice letter, and it sort of, at the end, it sort of got the feeling it was like, thank you, and never again, please. And you're just like, kind of like sort of like, I know where you live tone, And then one time, I think one time Sharon Stone got mad at Gwyneth Paltrow for playing her in a sketch that I wrote, and so I was kind of relieved that Sharon Stone didn't know that I wrote it.
Oh, well, now she does. Yeah. Now Sharon knows you wrote it.
I wrote it.
You think Barbara Walters comes after you?
What are they gonna gang up on me together? They're gonna be like waiting by my car.
Barbara and Sharon?
Yeah.
But it's a good story. Then you do a parody of them beating you up.
Right.
Yeah. Be good. We have to take a commercial. We'll be back. We're back with Tina Fey. And that's a clip from Mean Girls, which I can't say enough about it. Mean Girls is, it's not like, if I don't know how they're advertising it, it looks like, but it's not a teen movie. It's not just for, but although if I were a mother and had a teenage girl, I would make her see this movie because it's fun. It's smart. It has a message. It has a really good message, and it's hilarious. It's for adults. I was crying laughing.
Oh, thank you.
It was so good. Now, where'd you get the idea for Mean Girls?
Well, Mean Girls is based actually on this book called Queen Bees and Wannabes, which is a serious, like, nonfiction book of how to help your daughter through the treacherous middle school years. But when I read it, I actually thought it was kind of funny because it's all about how girls mess with each other and all the horrible things.
So the book is not funny?
The book is kind of serious, yeah. But all the anecdotes of like the things girls really do to each other is really, I thought, kind of funny. Like a girl will call up another girl. Like if I'm mad at you, I would call your mom and be like, oh, hi, is Ellen there? This is Susan from Planned Parenthood. I have her test results.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never do that to your mom.
No. Yeah. You would never do that to me, though.
Not to you.
No.
Maybe to Sharon Stone.
Yeah. And I don't think my mother would fall for it.
No.
Either. She'd be like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's really good. And it just makes you realize how vicious teenagers can be in high school. Because there's just some, but just all the characters. And the little girl who's left home alone watching videos and getting all the wrong information. And it's hysterical.
Thank you.
It's really good. It is. It's very, very funny. All right, so now you interviewed a ton of girls to do this?
I did. I looked in the book. There's a bunch of interviews, and I talked to a bunch of girls, and it's you know, I sort of, people say, like, you know, how is it different from, you know, when you were in high school and stuff? And I think the biggest difference is there's like new body parts for girls now.
Really?
Because like when when we were in high school, like your jeans, like this part of your body right here, like right from there to there, you didn't show that.
Yeah, you didn't show that.
You didn't show like you know how Pink has that like super chiseled muscle? That was not an issue.
No.
But the girls, like the zipper on their jeans is like that long.
Yeah. I don't know how they do it.
Like I used to wear like, I would wear like a turtleneck with strawberries and like penny loafers, and I thought I was really rocking the house. I'd wear like my mom's units. Remember units?
No, what's units?
They were like those like 80s like stretchy garanimals that ladies used to wear.
No. Oh yes, units.
Right,
I do know. There was
like,
a store called Units,
yes,
right? And you could mix and match the different things. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so you live in New York.
I do.
And do you find that soothing and relaxing? Like
it's really relaxing to live in.
Before going to a show, is it like stressful getting there, or do you like relax and pamper yourself?
Yeah,
or?
we try. You know, we work all the time, and sort of like the great thing in New York is I do sort of treat myself to manicures. I like to get it's a very New York thing because they're cheap in New York, and I go to this place in Midtown called Bonjour Nails.
Oh.
And
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a really classy place because they always have like a poster of like a beautiful Asian gal with long nails holding a violin.
Oh yeah. You know it's nice.
And she could never play the violin with those nails, but she does hold it. And it's weird because I never used to get manicures when I lived in Chicago, but when you go, it's like such a New York thing, and it's weird because at first you're just holding hands with a stranger for like 20 minutes. And then the one time I went and
this hilarious.
You know, it's just like, hi, how are you?
Yeah. You try not to act like you're holding their hands, so your fingers are more out than curled in.
It's really like dead-handed. And this one time I was there, and that Cher song was playing on the radio. That like, do you believe that one? And that's how it sounds, right?
Yeah, it does.
And she looked at me. We hadn't talked the whole time, and she was like, oh, this chair? I was like, yeah, that's Cher. And then she worked for a while, and then she's like, she a man or a woman? You know, Cher is a woman. She's like, oh. And then she worked for it, and she was like, she had a very beautiful body, which I thought freaked me out because, I mean, she had seen Cher.
Right.
And still wanted me to tell her if it was a man or a woman.
Yeah. Right.
So that's how I pamper myself.
Right.
In response to your question. I help Asian women figure out Cher's gender.
Right. Yeah. And you know she's still asking people. She's not convinced yet.
She kind of didn't believe me. She was like,
Yeah. Well, so far it's been Barbara Walters, Sharon Stone, and now it's Cher that you've pissed off. So
I should stay home.
Good luck to you. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I'm a huge fan. You're hilarious.
Oh, thank you. I'm a huge fan of yours.
And the movie is Mean Girls, and I'm telling you, you got to go see it. It opens in theaters April 30th, and David Bowie is going to be here right after this. Don't go away.